Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Where does it hurt? Everywhere! Hey y'all, it's me, Shania Twain, and welcome back to Hot or Hot. And today we'll be reviewing episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 5. Our queens split themselves into two girl groups, each one performing their own rendition of the new hot 90s inspired track, Don't Ick My Yum, in which of course they had to write their own lyrics, come up with choreography, and style their own looks, which proved particularly challenging for one group. So we'll be breaking all that down and then taking a look at what the queens over in the UK have been saying about the Klub Kids touring booking management group. Many are alleging they haven't been paid for gigs, and the management group has released a statement. So let's get started with group 1, the Fierce Force 5. But first, please hold. Hello? My viewers are, what now? Browsing the internet without a VPN? Meaning all of their internet activity could be exposed to sneaky snoopers on public Wi-Fi and even their internet service providers? But don't worry, Surfshark, the sponsor of today's video, is here to save the day. Here's how it works. Start downloading Surfshark right now by clicking the link in the description of my video. Then connect to any one of their over 3,200 secure servers around the globe in just one click. And just like that, our internet browsing traffic is encrypted, anonymous, and secure. And even better, Surfshark can also help you unlock geo-restricted content on streaming platforms and access websites that may be blocked in your home state or country. For example, this streaming platform shows every season of RuPaul's Drag Race to viewers in Argentina, which means with just one click, I can surf on over to Argentina and bada bing, bada boom. Every season of RuPaul's Drag Race unlocks for my viewing binge pleasure. And guess what, Mimi? Surfshark makes browsing the internet again with their clean web ad and pop-up blocker. Plus, you can use Surfshark on all of your devices with unlimited device login. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description of my video to get Surfshark today. And don't forget to use code BUSSY during checkout to get 3 extra months of Surfshark for free. And by the way, there's no risk in just trying it out because Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. Thanks Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. First up, Marouli. So in Michael's performance today, the first thing I actually noticed about her presentation was the amount of glitter on her chest, which as dark as she appears to have painted it, combined with the glitter, is kind of giving like hairy chest effect. And that could be intentional, but I feel like maybe it wasn't. Jury's still out on that. However, the choreo and energy of her performance was definitely up to par with what we've seen that she can do. And I think she did a pretty good job with keeping her lyrics on theme with where they found icks throughout their lives. She sang, I don't like men with bad fash, it gives me the ick, and then I get a rash. I'm sick of seeing socks with sliders, and then I can't read the next line, but her icks are clear, men with bad fashion, and that includes socks and sliders. This was like a safe hot. And for her pop icon Runway, she's giving a mega homage to the Spice Girls, where she has stitched together the 5 different fashion pieces of the Spice Girls into one ultimate megazord of spice. This was an interesting and unique way to do a costume, and I don't think we've seen anything like this in, 100 seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. She's got Baby and Ginger's hair, Scary and Posh's dress, and maybe that's supposed to be Sporty's orange top, I'm not sure, and also Michael didn't seem too short either in the confessional. She's naming all the pieces of the different Spice Girls that are found in her outfit, and she kind of just says Sporty Spice's name ambiguously. I'm sure she's in there somewhere. The one critique I have is it does come off a tad corpse bridesy with all of those black stitching pieces throughout the entire look. But we are in spooky season, so we can't be too mad about that. I'm gonna give this look a hot. And next up, I don't remember eating Cornish pasties. It's Vicki Vivacious. And the Vicki lore we get this episode is she's been in a girl group in the past, and she also is deaf in one ear. And while this certainly could have been a challenging challenge for somebody with hearing loss, she made it look easy. However, what she was actually singing about kind of confused me. This Cornish girl don't care, twink, otter, cub, or bear. I kissed some frogs but found my prince, love is in the air. Like, she's kind of just singing a love song, essentially, and I'm not really sure what her ick is supposed to be based on her lyrics. And I will also point out that while she did good with the choreo in general, there was the section where the queens were pumping their fists in the air and jumping, and she wasn't jumping. She was kind of just miming jumping. So I'm gonna give this like a warming up. And over on the runway, she gives us a little Freddie Mercury fantasy, who's obviously a great pop icon to emulate, but I will say we've seen it before, both on Drag Race UK with Cherry Valentine, may she rest in peace. And then most recently, I think for Lady Camden on season 14 of Drag Race, where for the Champs Runway, if you'll remember, she did the iconic wig reveal into a mustache reveal. But Vicki does at least give us a fairly fresh Freddie flavor, love and alliteration, with the crown and the red cape. And overall, I think the look is well done, clean, and sophisticated. Plus, it gets the message across. And also the mustache looks great on her. This look is hot. And next up, DeDeLicious, who doesn't waste any time in her lyrics telling us exactly what her ick is. Hey bitch, don't give me the ick, chew in my ear and I'm gonna be sick. Oh, she must not like ASMR, that smacking noise they do. Hope that triggered somebody. Or I hope you liked it. The rest of her verse, though, turns into a fairly standard bitch track thing, but I've gotta call out the Misslicious, the glamour clown, Dee smash, I shook the ground, where she literally just falls backwards onto her butt, throws her legs in the air, and perfectly lands on that smash. Really great choreo and lyric combo there. Loved it. And the judges do end up talking about how they felt Dee was, I don't know, like a little too youthful or erratic in her energy for the performance, but I thought everything she did was super appropriate and not only met, but raised the bar. This performance was hot. And over on the runway, her pop icon is Nicki Minaj. Hi Barbs, y'all ready for Pink Friday too? I was born ready. Okay, so this look was a little tough for me at first because I was really trying to rack my brain and figure out what look specifically she was referencing. And I kind of gathered that this was not a specific look, but rather just a general loose interpretation of some Nicki Minaj aestheticisms, of which we do see she's got that trademark split super long wig, a very curvilicious body, which she also wears when she's not emulating Nicki Minaj, and lots of pink in her outfit colors. And ultimately, I would say all this does work as a loose homage to Nicki, but it felt a little out of place and confusing when you look at every other queen's look and see that they're doing a more specifically referenced outfit from their pop icons. I don't think if I saw this, I would have guessed that she was dressing like Nicki Minaj. So like for Dee, I think she looks great. This look is hot. But for Nicki, like Dee as Nicki, I think warming up. Next up, it's confirmed. She's sweet, salty, and even sticky if you're nasty. Ow. And y'all know Caramel's already one of my favorites this season, but let's just brag on her a bit. She nailed this challenge in multiple different ways. First of all, the choreography, and not just her own individual performance choreography, but the choreography that she choreographed for the entire group. There was not a single camera shot where the queens weren't doing something new or interesting with their choreo, and there was no aimless walking or queens that seemed lost in the sauce of it all. And not only was she a great leader, her individual performance was amazing. She belted out those vocals. And the particular ick she sang about in her lyrics was misgendering. Misgendering has gotta go, Black trans lives matter every day. Which is a great way to tie in who she is as a person with the thematic ickness of the song. I think the only critique I could give her on this was the skirt that she styled with this outfit. It was not worn as a skirt, it was worn as a belt. This performance was absolutely hot. And over on the runway, Caramel looks strikingly beautiful in homage to Beyonce at Coachella for the Homecoming show. And you can see when the original and Cara's recreation are side by side, the details are not like identical, but I must say this recreation is really well done. You immediately know what you're looking at and who wore it. And waist up, I would say it's perfect. The only issues were the length of the cape and the shoes she was wearing. Those black ankle booties kind of cut off her tallness, where you see Beyonce's team fix that with a clear vinyl boot, and then the cape that Cara is wearing just wasn't long enough. It really needed to hit the floor to give that full regal fantasy, but this look I do think is absolutely hot. And next up, a little Tomara Thomas for your nerves, who also nailed this performance. While it was so impressive that this entire group did so amazing in the choreo, Tomara did have some particularly interesting parts, like when she was walking backwards and then the entire rest of the group started also walking backwards. So her lyric when she was singing, "I got the bass in my walk like Naomi," and that perfect jump split at the end was a flawless victory. Like, she is such a great dancer. So come on, don't give me the ick, I'll show you how to jump split. And all that dancing lyricism about, you know, being a femme fatale with fire in her fanny was really fun. However, I don't think she actually listed a single ick in her verse. At least she did repeat the chorus and said the word ick in there though. Plus her outfit was, I think, the only good one in her entire group. I don't know what happened with the girls styling these outfits, but there was some stuff falling off. There was just a lot of mismatching, but Tomara did look good in hers. And so for all those reasons, I'm definitely gonna give her a hot. And over on the runway, her pop icon is the king. A queen is the king, how nice. And I think what's great about the Elvis outfit she's wearing is it is immediately recognizable. Even if you don't like know all of Elvis's stuff, you know that he wears a white crop jacket and white bell bottoms from time to time. And personally, I thought she did a really great job of towing the line between inspiration and outfit recreation, because this look is very much Elvis, but also has that toned down, refined, and elegant feminine beauty that Tomara brings to her runways. The judges, though, in critiques apparently wanted a draggier Elvis, which could have been fun, like with maybe a chest plate and some stilettos or something. I'm not sure exactly what they meant by that, but I liked what Tomara did here, so I'm gonna give this look a hot. And now we move on to group 2, the M52s upon on the B52s, aka the couch group. First up, Ginger Johnson. And in the challenge, the first thing we've got to talk about is her putting Naomi's foot in her mouth to, of course, play it like an air saxophone. You gotta do what you gotta do, girlies. Sometimes you gotta put some feet in your mouth, you know, and Nina West would be proud. But moving into her lyrics, she gets her personal icks out of the way very quickly. TERFs and Tories make me spew, there's no hate on my menu. TERFs, by the way, is an acronym for trans-exclusive radical feminists. Someone like J.K. Rowling, for example, who's been under a lot of fire in the UK lately for saying things like trans women aren't women, etc., etc. And Tories are the conservative political party over in Britain. After getting the serious stuff out of the way, though, she turns it into pure comedy. 5, 6, 7 shablam, I already ate and I had ham. Why not? Why not? You know, while this group, I will say, lacked in choreo a bit overall, they did really well in the comedy and lyricism department. This was absolutely hot. And their outfits were better, so we gotta give them that. And her runway was an homage to Elton John. Here, she is recreating a super campy look from a 1972 Muppet Show performance for Crocodile Rock. And we do see, when comparing side by side with the original, it's not an exact recreation. Elton's look was, instead of a bodysuit with mirrors, a crocodile chest piece, and then pants with matching feathers from the back, all up and down the legs. And on one hand, I do think she maybe missed an opportunity here to put some kind of crocodile reference into the outfit, because it was a look that Elton specifically wore for the Crocodile Rock performance. But on the other hand, I think it could have been really tricky to try to integrate some giant muscly chest piece into a feminine drag look like she was going for. So I respect the choices that were made here, although maybe a few scales wouldn't have hurt, so I'm gonna give this look a hot. And next up, we'll let her lyrics do the talking. It's me, Kate Butch. Let me in at your window. Might be thick, but don't call me a bimbo. Running up that hill just to weather your heights, and I'll climb to the top with the ladder in your tights. Wow, wow, wow. The delivery of what she did here in her lyrics was phenomenally hilarious, fun, and self-referential. Like, she really is proving time and time again how good she is at comedy and timing, etc., etc. I will say, though, in her lyrics, you might have missed the ick if you weren't listening closely. She's saying, perfect, pretty, poised, whatever. Grab a mic and string a sentence together. Ooh, a little dig at the illiterate girls. Period. Tag me next time, ow. This performance was hot. But over on the runway, her pop icon is Shania Twain, and I'm not sure if this look impressed me that much. With the joke there being that this look is from the 1997 music video that don't impress me much. And the leopard print crop top pant suit thing that she wore in the original, she actually has recently reworn 30 years later. Iconic. I actually just saw her at ACL this past weekend, and she was indeed incredible. Which is all to say, this look is a very famous look, and I think a very important one to get right. Kate's look, though, is definitely inspired by Shania's leopard print look, but it's a lot less scandalous. You know, it shows less skin and is covered up in areas that I don't think Shania would particularly be interested in covering up. But as we've seen and discussed, Kate is really more about that comedy aspect of drag, and she brought some funny components to the runway when she brings out, like, the rocket, the car, and Brad Pitt's name in her purse, you know, the things that don't impress her that much. And so while the fashion of this, I think, was taken a little too far into Little Edie territory, I think the camp saved it, so I'm gonna give this a Very soft hot. Let's go, girls. Next up is Banksie, who in the challenge gets us started off quickly with her ick. My ick is all the girls who say they're bloody gorgeous. Their faces full of filler and their egos are enormous, which actually turns into a little bit of fun drama between her and Tomara in the Untucked segment later. So I enjoyed that, and also the comedic aspect at the end of her verse where she's saying, because I'm loving myself like a pig, and shh. Her performance was all very fun and creative. However, the choreo, I think, was particularly lacking with Banksie. The thing is, she is such a presence on the stage and your eyes are almost always going to her, and there was a lot of instances where she and, you know, many of the other queens in her group were just kind of twirling or walking in circles around the couch or really just not doing much at all. So while that bit of what she was doing was a little awkward, I'll give what she did in general a and over on the runway, she's giving a recreation of the iconic 1973 David Bowie tour look, which is immediately recognizable, and I think this probably was a particularly difficult outfit to get right because of that crazy blown out silhouette with those giant balloon pants. But she nailed it, with the one critique I have being the hair. That David Bowie hair she's wearing, it's a little questionable. That hair is a rot. I'm not loving the makeup either. I think it could have been a little more finessed, but the general aesthetic is there, and when we're, you know, from a distance, it makes sense. I'm gonna give this a hot. And next up, our couch queen, Miss Naomi Carter. So firstly, I have never seen somebody own couch choreography the way that Miss Naomi Carter owned that couch choreography. The way she sat there, the way she raised her hands in the air like she didn't care. Naomi's lyrics were absolutely phenomenal, some of my favorite. Men, you give me the ick. Same. You make me feel sick the way you grab on my and I love the way she told us where she's from. Donna Gal is here to take the race down. Carter is a starter, slaying the game from Hull to Jakarta. Really, really great rhyming in there. And the closer was funny and sincere, taking this like haddock to batter. Haddock is like a codfish. Haddock, cod, fish in batter, fried, and then what? Served with chips, fish and chips. Very British of her. Ending with roses are white, but Black Lives Matter. Poignant. This was. And over on the runway, when life gives you lemons and hot sauce, grab your bag, swag. And if you're a part of the Beehive, or I don't know, were alive in 2016, you probably know that this look is from the Lemonade music video. And I've gotta say, I think Miss Naomi Carter absolutely nailed the aesthetic of this look. And I've gotta point out, again, she's really good, I think, at doing makeup illusions. This is such a pretty softer beat on her, more akin to the really pared down makeup that Bee was wearing in that music video. And if I may make a suggestion, Miss Naomi Carter has such a pretty face, and this really shows it off. I wouldn't mind seeing her do more natural looks like this more often. And while sure, maybe this dress could have had one or two more ruffles up and down it to get a more exact match to the OG, I do love that she went the extra mile with rhinestoning the back. What needed to be gove was gave. This look is. And the gag of the episode is that there are no bottoms, only tops. Well, one team of tops and one team of safes, which means there is no elimination this episode, with the reason perhaps being that, oh, the mystery queen is mysteriously gone. We couldn't even play I Spy this episode because she wasn't in any of the shots. All of the crops of the queens on stage are fully wide shots. There's no weirdness, and there's no, you know, the editors chopping anybody out. It seems that this queen, who was present in the past 2 episodes, was let go at some point between episode 2 and 3, or maybe allegedly there was something that was reshot and refilmed, we don't know, but the queen is gone. So the M52s are all declared safe, despite the choreo situation, and the Fierce Force 5 are all tops because of the choreo situation. And then instead of a bottom 2 lip sync, we get a top 2 lip sync where the judges pick Cara, Melle, and Tomara Thomas. And I think there is definitely valid reasoning for picking Tomara there. And Cara, I think, absolutely 100% deserved that top 2 spot. Tomara, I think, though, could maybe be debated against DeDeLicious in this team, where I would argue that DeDe's full performance package, including her lyrics and delivery of what her ick was in, you know, the theme of the song, was bigger and fuller and more appropriate. Albeit Tomara's dancing performance was definitely top 2. So Cara and Tomara are now producer established rivals from last episode, face off in this top 2 lip sync. Producers are producing. What did I say? And this was an interesting lip sync song. It's like an EDM track by David Guetta, and I don't love it as a lip sync song, I'll say, but these 2 queens both brought it for me. However, I actually am gonna give it here to Tomara. I think that her energy she brought to the vibe of the song, being a little slower and sadder, matched a bit better than what Cara was bringing, because Cara's dancing was phenomenal throughout the entire lip sync, but it felt almost too happy and energetic for the tone of the lyrics. But it was definitely a close call, and I'm not mad about the outcome. So now let's do hottest hots and then get into the Klub Kids drama. On the runway this week, I thought everybody was good, but there wasn't one particular standout for me, so I didn't choose one. I did ask my patrons, though, to vote on their hottest hot on the runway, and they chose Michael Marouli. And in the challenge, I'm gonna give my hottest hot to Cara, who my patrons also voted for. And now, for the drama. So all these tweets and statements that we're about to read are all concerning Klub Kids UK. But who are these Klub Kids? Well, according to their website, we are home to the most entertaining UK drag events and drag shows with a roster of fierce performers that know how to light up the stage and dominate it. And then below that little description, we've got tons of posters for queens like Bag of Chips, Anitra, Alexis, Naomi, Shutter Gorgeous, Mini Drop, so on and so on. And this group, from what I understand, has been doing drag shows and events for many years in the UK. But this past week, queens from across the UK franchises have been calling out Klub Kids for alleged non-payment of booking fees. And we were seeing tweets or posts, whatever you want to call them, on the Elon platform from all kinds of UK franchise queens. The first, which doesn't name this organization directly, was from Smizzy Drop, who wrote, "It's sad that with the amount I've worked this year, I should be very financially comfortable and able to move out of my mom's house to start a life with my boyfriend. But I've still not been paid for 90% of the gigs I've done this year. LOL, I'm tired." Where somebody replied, "That sounds like thousands of pounds worth of pay," and Sminty wrote, "Yep." And Carrie Colby from the US wrote, "That is absolutely outrageous." We then saw queens like Lawrence responds to Sminty's tweet, writing, "Rotten treatment, and sadly, this is not an uncommon story. Love you, Smint." And again, while Sminty doesn't name this organization Klub Kids directly in these tweets, we do see her respond to another tweet where Scarlett Harlot was discussing Klub Kids in a response to a tweet that read, "Can someone answer me this? If you're not getting paid, why do you keep doing the work? I truly don't understand. Klub Kids, I know, shock I use the name, aren't paying these girls, yet they're still on the lineups. I'm baffled." Where Scarlett wrote, "A lot who still work with Klub Kids are already thousands of pounds in debt. Some have their own arrangements on how they get their money back, and some probably realize he's on the verge of bankruptcy and there is little to no money left to give, LMAO, or scared to not look busy." Where we see Sminty replying with, "Hit the nail on the head with scared not to look busy." And regarding Scarlett working with the Klub Kids organization, she did write, "I'm not owed any money except from whatever he overcharged on my early gigs with him that I wasn't privy to, but that I'll truly never know. I pulled him up and I got cut from the lineup time ago. And TBH, it does affect gigs because of how in demand you appear." And in response to this thread, a drag queen named Miss Peaches wrote, "Still not been paid for a show I did for Klub Kids last Halloween. Not be doing that again, my love." Where we did see Lawrence ask in clarification, "Did you mean Halloween of 2022? And she said yes. We also saw Crystal Versace address this situation, writing, "I hope something happens from this. This mess has been happening for too long. The UK queens from other franchises, and local queens have been taken for a ride with this man, and it needs to stop. I've had my own problems with him, and it's been red flags for years. The way he's treating performers is nothing but cruel and disgusting. I hope someone helps mop up this mess and gives the queens here a chance to earn a living and entertain people that love drag. From my perspective, this man has slowly killed the art of drag in this country for a while now." And in response to Sminty's original tweet, we did see Joe Black chime in, writing, "This has made me furious since I saw it. People like Klub Kids absolutely sullying artists' moments and opportunities straight off the TV exposure start line. I've been really fortunate to have the management I have. Hi, Nathan. And I refuse to work for people who don't respect me." And regarding that disrespect Joe hints at there, in a follow-up tweet, he wrote, "And this is why you will never see me on a Klub Kids lineup. Andrew was rude backstage." Andrew being someone who's a part of the Klub Kids group. And then a follow-up tweet, Joe wrote, "He said two things to me. Which one are you? He knew fine well. We've decided you're not good enough to be on stage, so I'm doing your act instead." Which obviously was meant as a joke, but I'm not sure I even find the idea of him going Augie, Augie, Augie amusing enough. And since all of this drama was coming to a boiling point with queens from all over the UK calling Klub Kids UK out, they did actually make a statement on the situation. On Instagram, they posted 2 slides where they wrote, "As a company, we would like to address the situation that has unfolded on Twitter/X. We are fully aware that Klub Kids owes funds to some of our artists, and we have been communicating fully with these artists. They are all aware of the struggles that we have had this last year. We have a huge passion for drag in the community, and unfortunately, we made some poor decisions by committing to so many tours in 22-23, which sadly didn't realize their full potential, as we had originally planned and hoped for. We've been doing and working hard on events experience for 12 years now, and we've struggled to keep up in places, and for that we are so sorry. We're proud to have helped bring so many opportunities to so many performers, not only in the UK, but around Europe and in the USA too. We've had so much fun as a drag family, and our world means everything to us, but sometimes things can go a bit wrong. We put our hands up and apologize for those still waiting on fees. We agree that this is totally our problem and not the artists, so they deserve to be paid as soon as possible. Every owed artist will be paid in full. We are not running away from the situation. We have been focusing our time and resources on trying to fix things. We have a plan of action in place to solve this. We have noticed there are some artists on Twitter stating that they also haven't been paid from the past, which we were actually not aware of. If this is you, please email me personally so that I can resolve this for you. I will be looking out for these messages. Please get in touch. Also, we see that there are some ticket holder comments about waiting on refunds. We have such a huge backlog of emails that we're working through, and we have a small team, but these can be discussed through info@klubkids.co.uk and will be sorted ASAP. This is a personal apology from me, Andrew, to the artist as the owner of Klub Kids. I need to take responsibility for the mistakes made and do my very best to fix them ASAP. So that's the drama. Klub Kids UK event and tour managing group owned by Andrew has been called out by many different queens on Twitter/X, and he has now issued an apology pledging that he is going to eventually, as soon as he can, get funds to these queens. I'll of course be watching the situation closely and wish only the best for the queens and that they get paid for their work that they've already done. But that's all I've got for you today, and I want to say thank you so much for watching today's video, and I also want to give you a quick reminder to click the link in the description of my video to download Surfshark, and don't forget to use code BUSSY at checkout to get 3 extra months of Surfshark VPN for free. I also want to give an extra special shout out to Ashley Brungart, Dorothy Hall, Felicia, Frankie, Jeffrey Steenberg, Laura, Seth, Matthew Burns, Sharkies, Stephen Topher, Tyler Hendricks MD, and Will and Tana, who are all supporting me at the Bussy Queen Collector tier over on patreon.com/BussyQueen. See you later. Love ya. Bye. I don't even know how to say this. I'm losing my mind.